I think they need to rename this radio the 3-channel transmitter, because that's exactly what it is. So, customer sent this one in along with a bunch of other black box radios, all with problems. Most of them are just bad solder joints. Actually, missing solder joints in this one. He had said, I think the limiter may be clipped or removed in this one. If it is, replace it. Because he wants these put back to the way they should be, not split, or, well, they're export radios, so made to be as little bit of splatter boxes as possible. Considering what what they are. But first thing I did was took the covers off. And that's a suggestion I should start mentioning more. Before you ever power up a radio, always take the covers off and give it a quick once over first. You could find wires shorted out. I mean, it's hard to tell, unless it's a brand new radio. But if it's a used radio, it's always a good idea to give it just a quickie, even if you don't do electronics repair. See if there's anything, extremely obvious that's wrong. Wires just hanging out in the middle of nowhere where somebody removed something, or something might be shorted out. Even stuff like light bulbs. Now, not so much in something like this, but in base stations, it's common. Meter lights might be 3-4 meters, several meters, and different lights in a radio. And people have a habit, back in the old days especially, just wrapping black tape around the wires when they splice in new bulbs. And over the decades, that the goo on the tape, dries out and the tape falls off. So, you could have bare, hot, 12-volt wires in there. So just look for obvious things. But the first thing I noticed was, actually, it still had the limiter in it. Someone had desoldered 2 of the legs, but they left the transistor in there. So, doesn't get any easier than that. Resoldered the 2, it's way out of alignment. But, so in any case, I hooked it up, powered it up, it works. He said it worked. He just wanted to, like I say, basically on this one, the limiter reinstalled and the proper alignment done. So, I hook it up, look at it on the scope. Yeah, the pattern looks like crap on scope, because it's way over-modulated. Even with the limiter in, everything's cranked to, and I'll never understand why people do that. The limiter is removed, but all the pots are turned full clockwise, full rotation. Maybe somebody peaked it first, and, that's not enough, and then they remove the limiter, I guess. But, turn the spectrum analyzer on. And I look at the spectrum analyzer, and it's like, oh my God, what in the hell is going on with this thing? Because it transmits on 3 channels. It transmits on, if it's on channel 20, it transmits on channel 20, channel 19, and channel 21. So, or 10 kilohertz in either direction. It's got basically a carbon copy, just smaller, but it's like a harmonic, but it's perfectly 10 kilohertz off. Yeah. Just kind of strange. So, hooked up to the spectrum analyzer here. So, I have it on channel 20. The span is set to 30 kilohertz. So, it encompasses 3 channels. So, I have it in, let's see here. There's AM. Let me turn the mic gain down. I think audio. Okay, yeah, that's the mic gain. So, what we can see here is we have the carrier we want. Got it on peak, so it's on 27.205.050, so it's off about 50 hertz. That's very close, but yeah, so it's off just a little bit. But there's the peak we want, and if we go to peak right, so that peak right there is the little one right there now, 27.215.050, and if we go peak left, 27.195, right here. So, what the hell? Yeah, and then let me turn the mic gain back up, if I add modulation, let me put the peak back in the center. Let me go over here and just stick a 1000 hertz tone into the microphone. So you can see as I turn the modulation up, you can see the sidebands, starting to pick up, on the right beside it, but you can also see sidebands picking up on those 2 other little spurs. So, yeah, wow, what the hell? So, yeah, it transmits on 3 channels. Matter of fact, let me just turn on a monitor radio here. this one on channel 21. And the radio's on channel 20. Let's see, AM. Audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you can hear it. It's not clear, but you can definitely hear it. And that one's, actually, I've got the RF gain turned down the whole way, so if I turn the RF gain up, audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's, this radio is on channel 20. The radio you're listening to is on channel 21. So, yes, we definitely have a problem. Yeah, that's just weird. I've never seen one so perfect. I mean, it's like they designed, it to transmit on 3 channels. Perfect little mini carriers, It's like, wow, that's just the first time I've ever seen that. And, man, this thing gets hot. Wow. I haven't hardly been transmitting at all, and this thing gets surprisingly hot all of a sudden. In no time at all. And when I was modulating, I actually did the initial testing on this thing. Man, this thing was hot to the point where you kind of went, I'm starting to smell, not burned up electronics, but if you work on this kind of shit, you can tell when electronics are getting hot, you start to get a smell. Just the whole radio. Christ, the AM regulator especially. Holy shit, I can barely touch this side of the radio. It's so stinking hot. I mean, it is... Man, just everything. The audio amp. The screw is almost blister hot on the audio amp. And it's not like I'm running at crazy power. I'm sitting here looking up there at my voltmeter on my distribution panel, 13.8 volts. So, I got the right amount of voltage going into it, so it's not like it's overvolted. Man, this thing just... It's just running way, way, way too hot. I mean, holy shit. I'm interested. I just thought I'd show that. And then, yeah, it looks like maybe somebody's been spreading some coils. They're not horrible because they're not all tweaked out to maximum, so that might be right. Easy way to tell is we just switch the spectrum analyzer. Get set up over here. Frequency. Start 54 and stop. And yes, we do have a second harmonic there. Just see if putting those coils back together cleans that up. Yeah, so yeah, somebody's been coil spreading in this thing. Look like I can get it much better than that. Try spreading this one a little bit. Yes, I said spreading, because not that made it worse. That's why I say you'll often see some spreading of those coils a little bit. That's not uncommon to see that. That's just the factory. When they're trying to get rid of that second harmonic, that's what they're doing. They're tuning the trap circuit. Yeah, that one needs to stay compressed the whole way. That's not bad. That's down pretty far. God damn! Fuck. Pardon my French, I don't know if you heard that in the camera. I just burned myself on the damn AM regulator. Holy shit, that's hot. I gotta turn this thing off. Jesus criminy. Okay, I gotta see this. Get out the thermometer here. It's a reflective surface. Hard to get a damn good reading. 100 and... all this blasted wire in the way, it's hard to... And infrared thermometers don't work so great on reflective surfaces. So I'm trying to get it just on the paper label right there. It's way hotter than that. I mean, it's you know, I may not have actually burned myself with a blister, but it was hot enough that when I touched it, it made me go ouch and pull my hand off. And yeah, figures. I didn't even notice that. It's got a diode bodged on the bottom of the board there. So yeah, that's got to go. Man, that's holy Christ. That was just, no wonder this thing's burning up. Man. So that could maybe possibly explain some of that crap we were seeing on the screen. So yeah, I'll have to remove that stupid modification there and check the bias on the transistors. Though I will say they're not cranked full rotation, because I've seen people do that. They'll turn these trimmers, they'll adjust these for power. If you want to burn up these, in the case of this radio, it has a driver and 2 finals, but if you want to burn those up, the best thing you can do is turn those to, you know, full rotation. You know, especially if you get into one direction. That's what you adjust the bias with. Those are not power adjustments. And what you do is you take the little mirror board out right here. Okay, there's a shorting bar. And you don't need to go soldering. That's another thing I see people do. Solder these blasted things in to these little U terminals down in there, okay? You don't need to solder. I'm going to move the camera down so I don't have to hold the blasted radio up in the air. You don't need to solder these blasted mirror boards in. There's not that much current passing through these things, okay? So it's the same thing in the older radios where they had 2 wires that would have pulled off over here. They were just two terminals that stuck up that had push-on terminals. I've seen people solder them on there. There's not that much current passing through these things, people. It's the bias current, okay? You're not gaining anything by soldering them in other than making it a pain in the ass to work on. But like I say, the proper thing to do, how you adjust these, is with an amp meter, okay? Because that's what you're adjusting, is the bias current. So you hook up because when you remove this, the voltage is on one pin, and then you have one pin goes to the finals, and the other one goes to the driver. And what you're doing is you take this out, you stick your current meter in line, and you adjust it. You look it up, and the alignment instruction is going to be different for different radios. They're all usually somewhere between 20 to 50 milliamps. Now, radios with dual finals, they'll usually be at like 100 milliamps. So what you do is you adjust, and that's why there's 2 trimmers here, one for each transistor. So what you do is you adjust both of those for 0 milliamps bias current. Then you adjust one of them for 50, and then adjust the other one for 50. Now that's, check the line, because I haven't pulled the manual out on this yet, but you know, I'm not saying it is 50 in this radio, but that's usually it's somewhere around there. But that's how you do it. You adjust both of them so you get 0 milliamps, and then you adjust one for 50, and then adjust the other one so you're reading 100, and that means there's 50 going to each one. But yeah, so you know, but I've seen people that adjust these for maximum power on a power meter. Yeah, the only thing you're doing is causing distortion, especially on sideband. If your bias current's not set properly, because this is a sideband radio, if your bias current's not set properly, you can get horrible distortion in IMD products, or intermodulation distortion. So yeah, properly adjusted. But yeah, this thing, I mean, it's still hot. I've been talking for how long now, man? So yeah, just a word to the wise. Modifications like this, you see crap, I mean, undo it. Like I say, a 3-channel transmitter. And there's a perfect example. This modification did nothing, apparently, for increasing power on channel, other than degrade the quality of the transmit audio. And it's now transmitting on 4 channels, because it's transmitting on the 2 adjacent channels. So if you're on channel, you know, on one channel, it's, you know, it's transmitting on the upper and lower channels, and then also 54 megahertz. So hell, you're talking on 3 CB channels and a television channel all at the same time, you know. So yeah, if you just watched the video I just posted about you know, adjusting the trap circuit, well, here's another one between adjusting the trap circuit and stupid modifications causing horrible you know, transmit problems. I mean, and this kind of shit, I mean, it's still warm. It's warm the whole, granted, this is aluminum. This is one of the, you know, it's a good, thank God they used an aluminum structure, because it at least has a little bit more to dissipate heat. But I mean, holy shit, it's hot the whole way up to the faceplate still. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a guy was using this for a coffee warmer. If that's what somebody was trying to do, make a coffee warmer, you know, you could stick 4 of your coffee cups on there and keep them nice and toasty warm. Hey man, this is the radio for you. If you want one that transmits and sounds good on one channel, this definitely, as it's set up right now, is not the radio for you. So we're going to undo some of this bodgery and get this thing back to normal. So I'll just end the video here. I just thought I'd show that, because I mean, it's like somebody was trying to set this up to transmit on 3 channels at one time. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better carrier on 3 channels. I mean, hey, man, I guess the next thing somebody's going to try and make a 40 channel transmitter that transmits on all 40. I mean, whatever. I just, another day of shaking my head. I get stiff necks by the end of the day usually from just sitting back shaking my head. That's all you can do. I don't know what else to say. So, modifications usually bad. This goes to prove it.